Ever struggled to make your point in an argument? Whether it's a debate with friends, a work disagreement, or an online discussion, winning isn't about being the loudest, it's about strategy. Today, we're sharing 7 powerful tricks to help you argue with confidence, logic, and persuasion. Let's dive in. Number 1. Stay calm and composed. One of the biggest mistakes people make in arguments is letting emotions take over. When you get angry, defensive, or frustrated, your opponent sees it as a weakness. People are more likely to respect and listen to someone who remains cool under pressure. Instead of reacting impulsively, take a deep breath, slow down your speech, and maintain steady eye contact. A calm demeanor not only keeps you in control, but also makes the other person seem more irrational if they start losing their temper. When you don't give in to emotional outbursts, you automatically have the upper hand. Number 2. Use the power of questions. Instead of aggressively pushing your point, use smart questions to guide the other person to a realization. This makes them think critically and often forces them to acknowledge weaknesses in their argument. For example, if someone makes a broad statement like, "This always happens," you can ask, "Can you give a specific example?" Or, "Has it really happened every single time?" Questions make the conversation more constructive and prevent it from becoming a shouting match. They also put you in a position of control without coming off as aggressive. Number 3. Stay on topic and avoid distractions. Many arguments get derailed when people bring up unrelated issues or shift blame. This is a common tactic used to distract from the real discussion. If someone tries this, calmly redirect them by saying, "I understand that's an issue, but let's stay focused on the main point." By keeping the conversation centered on the key argument, you make it harder for the other person to manipulate the discussion. It also shows that you're in control of the conversation and not easily sidetracked. Number 4. Use facts and evidence. A well-structured argument isn't just about opinions, it's about facts. The strongest way to win an argument is by using concrete evidence, examples, and logic to support your claims. For instance, instead of saying, "I just feel like this is the best option," you could say, "Based on a recent study, this option has a 30% higher success rate than the alternatives." For instance, instead of saying, "I just feel like this is the best option," you could say, "Based on a recent study, this option has a 30% higher success rate than the alternatives." If you don't have data on hand, you can still refer to real-life examples, historical events, or widely accepted principles to support your argument. Number 5. Mirror their emotions and tone. People naturally trust those who seem familiar or similar to them. This is where mirroring comes in. Subtly mimicking the other person's speech pattern, tone, and body language can create a sense of connection and make them more receptive to your point of view. Subtly mimicking the other person's speech pattern, tone, and body language can create a sense of connection and make them more receptive to your point of view. For example, if they're speaking softly, lower your voice slightly. If they're using confident body language, reflect that back. This doesn't mean copying them exactly. It means adjusting your communication style in a way that makes them feel heard and understood. When people feel understood, they're more likely to respect your argument. Number 6. Know when to stay silent. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do in an argument is say nothing at all. Strategic silence makes people uncomfortable, forcing them to fill the void. This can cause them to reveal weak points, over-explain, or even backtrack on their stance. For example, after making a strong statement, pause for a few seconds instead of rushing to speak again. This forces the other person to process what you've said, and often makes your words seem even more powerful. Silence can also be used when someone is trying to bait you into an emotional reaction by refusing to engage. You stay in control. Number 7. End with a strong closing statement. People tend to remember the last thing you say in an argument. So make sure it's something powerful. Instead of trailing off or repeating yourself, end with a strong, confident closing statement. For example, if you're debating an issue, you could wrap it up by saying, "At the end of the day, the facts are clear, and I stand by them." This leaves a lasting impression and makes it difficult for the other person to challenge your stance. A strong closing shows confidence and finality, signaling that you've won the argument. And there you have it, 7 powerful tricks to help you win any argument. Remember, it's not about proving others wrong, but about making your points in a way that earns respect and agreement. Use these strategies wisely, and watch how your conversations change.